Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm gonna be talking about city courses once again, but this time about individual variants. For most city variants, one or two of them go in the opposite direction to the first variant. However, there are several variants where I feel they play better in reverse, and that's what I'm gonna be talking about in this video. So without any further ado, let's get started. To start, I'm actually gonna be skipping New York Minute. Each of the four variants all go in the same direction, and I don't have a problem with any of them. Same with Tokyo Blur. Again, all four variants go in the same direction, and I don't have a problem with them. But then we get onto Paris Promenade, the first course, with a route I find weird. You see, the first and third variants both start facing away from the Luxor obelisk, but the second variant starts facing towards the obelisk, and the second variant is the one I think is better in reverse. To start, I'll say something that applies to every variant you'll see in the video. I just don't think the routes play better normally compared to reverse. I think the turns flow better, and the course plays nicer. I also think the scenery is better in reverse. For example, in the normal direction, the Gleis Saint Augustine on the final turn can't really be seen properly. However, from reverse the church can be seen from the front, which looks better. I also think the view after the first turn is better, with the La Madeleine church on the left and the Opéra Garnier in the background, which I think is better than the normal direction. Really, the only thing that can't be seen as good from reverse is the Eiffel Tower, but I think the first and second variants more than make up for that. Next up is London Loop, where there is also a variant that I don't think plays better in the normal direction. The first and second variants both start with Westminster Palace on the left, but the third variant starts with the palace on the right, and the third variant is the one I don't like the normal direction of. The thing I don't like about the third variant starting direction, that nothing is really seen from the best angle. Sure, near the start you can see the City Hall and Tower Bridge, and you get the weirdest angle of the London Eye, but the view from reverse is way better. Right after going under the bridge, you can see way more things, like Leadenhall Market, the walkie-talkie and the gherkin in the far background. The City Hall can be seen better from the Tower Bridge, and as for the bridge itself, you literally drive across it, so I think that makes up for it. Skipping Vancouver Velocity, as I don't mind any of the route's directions, we get to Angeleslapse, where there is another route I don't like the direction of. I don't have a problem with the first or second variants, but the third one is the variant I feel is better in reverse. To start, even the view from the starting line is better in reverse, with the mountain and the penthouse in the far background. I also prefer the Beverly Hills section where you can see the houses and mountains, which I think is more interesting than being blinded by the sun in the normal direction. But the most important thing, is the glider. You can see the pictures mound and spectators better, and you get a good view of the lights, buildings, and the convention center in the background. If you remember back to my deluxe prediction for Angeleslapse, I put this route in reverse for all the reasons I've mentioned. I'm gonna be skipping Berlin Byways, Sydney Sprint, and Singapore Speedway, as I don't have a problem with any of the route's directions. The next city is Amsterdam Drift, where there is another variant I don't like the direction of. I don't have a problem with the first or second variants, but the third one is the main point of interest. I've always been confused as to why this route goes in the direction it does. Even before the route was released, I saw multiple people predicting the route would go in this direction, but everything about it makes me think it's supposed to be in reverse. Even after the first turn you get a better view, with all the houses and shops, even the peak of the Rijksmuseum in the far background. Although you can't see the Bloemenmarkt as well, there isn't really much to see in it, so I don't think it matters that much. The view after going under the Rijksmuseum is a lot nicer in my opinion, as you can see more of the houses and trees in the background, as well as some buildings you just can't see from the normal direction. You even get to see the back of the Rijksmuseum from a nice angle. I've always been really confused why this variant goes in the direction it does, and I wish Deluxe used it in reverse. I'll obviously be skipping Athens Dash because it doesn't have its third variant yet. As such, the final track for the video is gonna be Bangkok Rush, which is probably the most infamous one on the channel. The first and second variants start with the Grand Palace on the right, but the third variant starts with the palace on the left. And this decision of making Bangkok Rush 3 go in the opposite direction is extremely bizarre to me. Again, almost everything about this route makes me think it's supposed to be done in reverse. First, we'll start with the gliding section. In the normal direction, you glide right underneath the giant swing, then fly straight over the Democracy Monument. Although the monument is trickable, you almost never end up tricking off it. And I don't think the monument even looks good from this direction. Also, the roundabout which circles the monument goes to complete waste. The reverse variant handles the glider much better in my opinion. You can't trick off the Democracy Monument, but you can actually use the roundabout, which I think is more interesting. You can also drive close up to the base of the giant swing. As for the glider itself, one thing I've heard is that there is way more things to see in the normal direction. Whilst that is true, there is nothing you can't see properly at some point in the reverse version. In fact, the normal direction actually has some things that can't be seen properly that can be seen in reverse, like the Wat Saket Temple and the train lines. Another thing is that the Grand Palace at the end can be seen from the front, whilst in the normal direction, it can't really be seen at all because of the shade. I know most people probably think the opposite, but I stand by my opinion that the route is supposed to go in reverse. So that's the end of the video. Make sure to let me know what you think, and also to subscribe if you haven't. I'm super close to 250 subscribers, quarter of the way to 1000. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.